Welcome to the Rethink Leadership podcast, available on all platforms including YouTube if you prefer to watch. My name is Jeremy Blaine, CEO of Performance Works International, Executive Director of the Transformational Leadership Acceleration Institute, and Managing Partner of Diversity Talent. My aim is to bring insights from leaders, experts, and highly talented professionals from around the world. Insights, stories, and advice from the front lines of modern leadership to engage, inspire, and mobilize progress back in the workplace. Every episode is a learning opportunity for us all. The Rethink Leadership podcast also supports charities around the world. Each episode is in aid of a cause chosen by my guests, and to date, I'm proud to say we've supported over 60 global and local great causes. Joining me today is Julian Hamood, the president of Trusted Tech Team from California. With 16 plus years of expertise and experience in IT solutions, licensing consultations, and customer relations, Julian has led the company's exponential growth, doubling revenue for 3 consecutive years. The secret? Putting the human touch at the heart of digital. Outside of the Trusted Tech Team, Julian actively volunteers and sponsors Project Youth OC, empowering underprivileged and at-risk youth through counselling, mentoring, and professional development. We discuss why putting the all-important human-to-human touch at the heart of digital service, support, and ongoing transformation is the critical factor for success across all industry sectors, organisations, and our communities. This episode is in aid of Oscar and Ma, a non-profit social enterprise founded by Scott Green, an Orange County entrepreneur, venture capitalist, and philanthropist. This wonderful organisation actively creates employment opportunities for people who are experiencing significant barriers to entry into the job market. Hi, Julian. Thanks very much for joining me. Please introduce yourself, your business, the Trusted Tech Team.
Yeah, Jeremy, thank you so much. Again, name is Julian Hamood, president of Trusted Tech Team, based out of Irvine, California. That's Southern California, next to Newport Beach, about 45 minutes south from Los Angeles. No traffic, of course. And navigated the organization through COVID, through a massive change, especially in the last 2 years with Microsoft, and then, of course, more recently with OpenAI. So really looking forward to our engagement here. And again, the Rethink Leadership podcast, you've done amazing work, and really looking forward to continue to have discussions with you moving forward.
Thanks very much for that. And me too. And I'm going to get straight into it here because I'm really impressed with what you've done with the business. And I want to ask a very specific question in this era of digital. Why do you think the human touch is more important than ever in the age of digital, generative AI, hyper automation, you name it?
Yeah, this question is not being asked. And it's not being asked because we have such massive traction in regards to AI and the benefits of it. But there's also a lot of organizations that are going to take this too far. And I know we're going to discuss that during this podcast here. But you talk about removal of account management roles, support automation, different automations that are taking priority on the back end. But you are going to have a over AI, over automation, and you are going to lose that human element. And again, examples of different organizations that are continuing to use AI, but you have turnover of staff, you have replacement of certain key components within the organization. And again, it's why would we have staff when we can actually just automate the tasks and procedures, whether that's with warehouse supply fulfillment, whether that's even with client relations. Especially support's going to go first and the sales aspect will come next, but you're going to have massive lack of engagement on support dynamics, whether that's even with our Apple iPhones or our PCs. You're going to hit automation and AI before you hit human element, and we are going to be lacking the human touch. So I think as we continue to progress, the organizations that can still keep those human engagements, human elements front and center are going to be the ones that are going to succeed, because your clients are going to go and find that somewhere else. Humans need human interaction. Automation is great on the back end, and there's a cost savings affiliated with that. But again, it's you need to be touching your clients in so many different ways, in regards to pricing, in regards to feedback, in regards to customer sensitivity, in regards to so many different aspects. So really looking to keep that on the forefront while still developing all the series of automation and benefits that this year in particular has brought us.
It reminds me actually, Julian, of every industrial era we've had. This is going to take our jobs. It's hyper automation. I think this was in the 50s in the or the 60s in the US as well. Happened in the third industrial revolution. We've kind of seen it every time, going right back to even when steam engines came in and what that was going to do to the workforce and what have you. Are we at a similar stage here, or is everybody kind of just going down the digital route without really thinking about what that means from a human perspective?
Yeah, great question. I do think we're at a massive junction as big as the internet as a whole, because I think this is going to change all businesses and all ways that we interact with each other. But again, I think that it's going to be very pivotal for organizations to be able to look at AI and automation as a whole, implement into the organization, and then shift and lift where you need to, whether it's shifting staff members from a department that can be fully automated into areas where you do need that human touch internally and externally. I've been a huge proponent of being in office. Even 2 weeks into COVID, the entire team elected to come back in office, and we've been in office since. And again, it's going to be a very, very unique environment, especially for organizations that have been fully remote and continue to be remote. That's going to cause a whole different set of issues. But I do, back to your question, I think this is going to be huge. I think there's a lot of great benefits from it. I think there's a lot of exposure from it, and I think it's going to create a whole different industry as we move forward and forge ahead.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And I'm going to put you on the spot now because I'm a great admirer of your organization, Trusted Tech Team. And I'd like to know how you as an organization have prioritized this sort of human to human interaction in your engagements and support services, particularly because you're fueling everything with that digital thread. So, what does that look like? But also, what have been the benefits that your clients have realized by putting the human at the heart of it?
Yeah, and even before going into the last few years, where there's just been technology has gone straight up, especially after COVID, 2021, 2022, 2023, especially with OpenAI. I was always 101 on everyone needs to show face on camera in the organization. Everyone needs to come into the office. Everyone needs to show up on time. Those are just fundamental one-on-ones, and it's lost, especially with my generation. You're not taught. You just need to continue to show up, and I do it every day. I'm here Monday through Friday at 5 o'clock in the morning. And again, it's that has been a result of not. We'll never lose the human element. We'll use the AI aspect in the back, because if you don't, you're gonna fall way behind. You have to use with the technology that's being provided. But again, you need to have human interactions. Our account managers fly out to the clients. We have our clients hosted internally here. These dynamics are always so crucial to the organization. And the organizations that fully step back on that are the organizations that are not going to be able to retain their clients or their staff.
So yeah, and I understand that. So do you have any organizations that you work with that have taken this on board that you can point to the benefits that they've realized by integrating and enabling digital transformation successfully, but also actually supercharging the human touch?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, as much as possible, whether it's workflow automations or whether it's dialogue with the customers, we're using AI to get closer to the realization of what the customer wants. The actual touch to the client is always human interactions, but whether it's a Fortune 50 company or NASDAQ 50 company that we work with, in regards to like realizing the support impact that they have from XYZ and how they want us to engage with them, we're always using automation. We use automation to get us to 70% of that workload, and then we're reaching out and we're conducting our in-person analysis. We'll go out to their office. We'll talk to them in regards to our findings. But we're always creating new reports. We're creating new analysis on the back end. Project Orland's a great tool from Microsoft that actually says, here's all the engagement that you need to have with your clients, and here's everything they're lacking. We'll put that down, and we'll actually engage with the client in person. So there's all different types of certain ways to do it. There's organizations that are just saying, client, here it is, and we'll give it to you. Do what you want with it. But you have to have that human interaction, actually touch the client and give them feedback in regards to, here's the priority of things that came up in this automated report. Here's how we're going to act on it as an organization, as humans.
What's your client feedback been like?
Amazing. I think, again, there's not many organizations since COVID that are actually reaching out, showing up in person, still have a budget to be, flying and interacting with our customers. And our retention, our churn is 0.012%. We don't lose clients once we gain them. So I think that's a big part of, continuing to serve our customers on that behalf. And you're seeing organizations slowly get back to that. And I will, there's two sides of the fence on an office versus hybrid versus fully remote. And I think people can be successful in all different ways. But in regards to the actual like sales in front of customers, serving your client, you have to be in office, and you have to be, serving them in person. That's my personal perception of it.
It goes to the word trust, which is at the beginning of your organization, which I think, by the way, is a great company name, because immediately builds the digital with the human as that thread, right, in what you say, what you do on the packet, and you deliver your promise.
Yeah, you
I'm
have to.
imagining though there are a lot of organizations like Trusted Tech Team who are out there who are offering AI, digital transformation, magical transformations for your success in the future, but who are more focused on the digital component and less on the human. So what's the cost of doing that, and what's impact on clients that you see out
Yeah.
there?
Again, great question, because there is a perceived cost of actually still continuing to touch your clients, whether that's in person or whether that's even virtually and showing up. There's a time allocation to that, which costs money, and there's also a staffing element. You need to have people in front of your customers consistently, because when you look at a profit and loss, you're able to say, "Hey, we can automate all these employees out of a job. We can automate all these costs away." And again, it's going to cost us a fraction. It could cost $20,000 a year for this, the SaaS application that can handle it. But again, when you actually look down into the grain of it, and we've conducted an analysis on this of client retention, you have to still be serving those clients in person. And again, I use this example with a NASDAQ 50 company that was working with a large provider. I won't name them. I think everyone has used them in one way or another. They're a hardware and software reseller. But again, during COVID, you couldn't get a hold of your account manager. And then you had an automated sequence that showed, hey, what were you looking for? We'll route you to the correct department. From there, again, you would just be dialoguing with an automated agent. This is, again, well before OpenAI came out with ChatGPT and really progressed the game. But again, you're continuing to see you're taking two routes as a company. You're taking full automation or partial automation. I'm taking this organization partial automation. I think we're going to be extremely successful in doing that. But again, it's very, very interesting. It's definitely balanced on a tightrope this year in particular.
Yeah, it is for many organizations. And you mentioned AI a few times. And when you just consider the amount of organizations that are claiming that they've now got a brand new AI or a AI bot that's in the background there. And there's just such a difference in terms of their service, but also the capability of the so-called AI and what they're actually delivering. It's really messy out there for clients. And maybe just to throw in a follow-up, because you sparked this thought, is that how do clients navigate that and get to you first, because there is a sea of providers out there. So either what are you doing or what are they doing to help them get to you?
Yeah. We have an entire team that focuses on organizations that are within a wide range, but simplistically 500 employees to around 25,000 employees. And we conduct our outreach based on, what's the Microsoft stack? What are they currently utilizing? Are they leveraging AI? We have a massive word of mouth base as well. But yeah, in regards to how we find our customers are usually finding us, whether it's through searching the brand, running into us on LinkedIn, the multiple organizations that we have that are, really stimulating and pushing this forge ahead for AI. But again, they can always, go directly to the site. We can have an account manager dialogue with them. But before it has to be a two-way street on the business side. It has to make sense for the client. Are they willing to really put in the work on their side and really put in the work with us to further the organization? Because we want companies that are willing to push forward and forge ahead, not necessarily organizations that are on budget freezes that, really don't want to push AI, really don't want to look into the future of, Copilot on the Microsoft side, or how to leverage Azure to lift and shift everything off their on-prem environment. So we're at this point in the organization, we really want to be picky in regards to, which clients we're working with and which clients, we really want to progress forward.
I like that because it's giving you the choice as much as anything else. And that's a great position to be in, because in my experience, particularly in navigating all of that that's out there just in artificial intelligence, let's not forget Web3, blockchain, cybersecurity, all of the things that then kind of come around this, is that they needed a trusted tech team. Genius name again. And and, and great. So let's just kind of search that up. But you're absolutely right. And I like the fact that you're in a position whereby you can be more challenging of clients and demonstrate the fact that you're willing to work with them, but you're not desperate to work with them, at the cost of everything else. So they have to be willing, you have to be willing, and then it's much more collaborative as you go forward. And I'm sure you see the benefits of that when you know that you've got a client that's buying into the promise and really kind of committing. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a doctor telling a patient, what you need to do to improve your health, and your patient's coming in every single month and they're improving in health. It's a two-way street, and we've gotten luckily ourselves to a point where we know our customer base, we know how to advance them. We just want to ensure that their engagement is as high as ours when it comes to any aspects of it, especially when it comes to automation and Copilot.
So I'm going to switch to leaders across the corporate, probably your clients. These are leaders who are potentially struggling with digital transformation and even the next digital transformation because they've not even finished the first yet. And then suddenly we've got AI, blockchain, et cetera, coming down the line. And they're kind of in a bit of a sea of immobilization in many ways. And in those cases, it's quite easy to rush into things and forget the human touch, which is really the important thing in bringing people with you, but engaging them in on the journey as well. So I'm interested from your perspective in the lessons that can be learned from tech entrepreneurs like you in human to human or human first terms as they continue to be challenged with all of this kind of that they have in their orbit, which is ever accelerating as well. What advice would you give these leaders?
Yeah, absolutely. And Jeremy, you made a good touching point there of, there's so many technology advancements that are occurring, and you haven't been able to fully implement what was learned in 2019, 2020, and 2021. And now you have your board of directors or your C-suite or your CEO or your president that's really, really pushing that down is what have you done this year for AI, and how are we going to get in a position to do so next year? And matter of fact, we're actually going to cut budget on you as well because we're potentially heading into a recession next year. The leaders that are most successful in continuing the human touch, human element, while still progressing and advancing AI, are the ones that aren't the ones conducting the development, the study, the research. I think the ones that are actually building the department should be the ones that are forward facing with the client because they understand how important that is. When you have someone that's a coder, you have someone that's actually head deep in the AI. That's how you can really get lost. But the leaders that are, the ones we dialogue with are the CTOs, the director of ITs, the IT managers. Those are the ones that continue to engage with the C-suite and some occasionally continue to engage with the organizational leaders outside of the company. I think those are the ones that are most successful in keeping their head above water, allow the advancements to occur with them and their team and continue to build that, but also ensure you still have that human interaction.
Well, I'm gonna press you on this point because you mentioned the C-suite there. So let's come away from CTOs and those people responsible for this. What can they learn from companies and entrepreneurs like you that will allow them to transform even themselves and maintain that human touch at the pace of their digital transformation, regardless of what's happening or who else is implementing it?
Yeah, that's a great question because that actually involves the human element. Who you were, outside of your role. Who are you as a father, mother, or as a partner? Who are you as a friend? Who are you outside? How much digging have you done with yourself? Have you been vulnerable with yourself as well? Do you understand the importance of continuing to dialogue with people, or are you in the last 5 years of your career and you don't want to dialogue with people anymore? Are you want to spend more time at home with the kids and family and the grandkids? There's so many different dialogues that need to occur within that individual or again within that team. And I think a lot of organizations need to be okay with stepping away from people who got them there. That this is a completely different ballgame. And if you have a CTO that's been with the company for 15 years, you need to really, really engage and say, are they the person that's really going to take me to the next level? And are they able to still engage with the team and still make good decisions based on the human dialogue that the team's having with one another? So yeah, I think there's a lot of soul searching when it comes to the individual, and I think there's a lot in regards to stepping back as a C-suite and evaluating the CCO in that role. Are they the right person to get us to the next level?
Well, you're of course C-suite yourself. So through the journey that you've had, so you obviously being a tech entrepreneur as well, but very focused on the human touch. I'm sure you've learned a lot from this too. So what have you learned as a leader? Forget the technology side. What have you learned as a leader through going through this journey yourself?
Yeah, growth, personal growth, especially going through COVID and everything that changed there. My mantra was through every bad time there's light. You just have to really, really dig. And through 2020, the light there was I started realizing these organizations, no one's showing face anymore on camera. No one's even picking up the phone. they're not engaging. They're not spending time in front of the computer. And that was a game changer for us. I started forcing everyone to show up on video, as I mentioned earlier in this meeting, and it was a massive game changer in regards to that human touch. And we still continue to serve that as we move forward. So a lot of soul searching for myself. Continue to show up with the staff. Good habits outside of work lead to good habits inside of work. And yeah, I think that's been a huge propeller in regards to continuing to serve our clients and serve in-person interactions as we have been.
I like two things there. So through every bad time, there's light that you can be focused on and build on, and good habits outside of work mean bringing those good habits inside of work as well. Very key pieces of advice for many leaders out there who are maybe struggling with some of this and who may feel a little bit overwhelmed. Sometimes they're not able to stop themselves and do something about it. So there's two nuggets from you, Julian, I think that will help. So we've covered quite a lot here, Julian, and thank you very much for such open sharing. What are the kind of 2 or 3 key points that you would leave for those tuning in terms of the discussion that we've had here today, as far as the digital intersection with the human?
Yeah, I think continue to surround yourself with a great team, and a great team that's hybrid in skill. Individuals that really know how to pick up what's going on and can investigate it, because there's people are looking for AI specialists, and it's a lot of self-learning, and the team needs to be able to go and self-learn and bring that back while still having the engagement of individuals that are still interacting with the customer. I think that's number one. Continue to merge those teams. Don't be too heavy on the customer side. Don't be too heavy on the AI side, but create great teams internally. And the second aspect there is just continue to listen. Continue to listen to your clients. Continue to listen to your team. Continue to listen to the amazing things that Microsoft and OpenAI are doing, and also other organizations. And then just have those discussions. I think we're in a really, really great position now for companies to expand drastically. But also, again, there's going to be huge opportunity for those that expand way too much in regards to the AI space. So continue just to keep your head above water and look around. There's going to be ample opportunity for new business ventures or existing business ventures.
Yeah, sometimes you got to slow down to speed up, I think is the point there. Yeah, that's definitely, I know that from personal experience as well. Well, look, Julian, thank you very much for joining me. I'm sure there are many tuning in that would want to continue the conversation. So how do they find out more and connect with you?
Yeah, my personal LinkedIn. So just Julian Hamood on LinkedIn. There's not many of me, so hopefully I'll come right up. And then again, we post amazing content to our Trusted Tech Team LinkedIn in regards to new engagements we're finding out on the back end of Microsoft. What they're telling us before the public. We'll try to get that information out as soon as possible. So yeah, really looking forward to hopefully meeting some of your audience.
Excellent. Just remind me for those who are not watching on YouTube, the website to go and find out more. Yeah,
absolutely. It's trustedtechteam.com. And then we also have a UK presence as well, but either or, just trusttechteam.com will populate to YouTube, if you're in Canada, US, or the UK.
Great. Well, Julian Hamood, thank you so much for joining me. Lots of food for thought for our audience. Thank you.
Jeremy, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Such a pleasure.
Thanks for tuning in to the Rethink Leadership podcast with me, Jeremy Blaine. Please like, comment, and support us on your favorite platform, and subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can watch as well as listen to each episode.